So now our students, I can ask questions. I can say, okay, kids, where is Woody? Where is Jesse? How many books can you see on the board? Look, we are using numbers, colors. What time is it? Okay, can you see the map of Panama? Yes, teacher. Okay, where are you from? Oh, teacher, I am from Chiriquí. I am from Penonomé. I am from David. Okay, so we are exploring many things in the same in our classroom. And as you can see, we have some characters from Toy Story. And I'm sure that your kids love Toy Story. I mean, Mr. Potato Head, Woody, etc. And some kids also love astronomy. So here we have the telescope. Now, if you click here on these books, you are going to have a website, or no, a link, a PDF link in which you open the book. And then you have the book, not only for you, but also for for your kids' parents. In case you want to share this with your parents, you can say, okay, Mr. Sir, Mom, go to this page and open the books that you can find in my classroom. Now, I want to show you just quickly. If you say, no, I think this is impossible for me to do inside of the question. No, look, it's so easy. You want to say, okay, I want to use it next week, March 19th, 2021. That easy. It's like using PowerPoint. And you say, no, I don't want to have Colombian flag. I want to have my very own province flag. If I have a flag from Santiago, yeah, from Las Tablas. So I can change the flag. You say, no, I don't want to use these books. So look, is like using PowerPoint. Is that what I want? Is that what I want to tell you? And then I can also use this virtual classroom VC for like an agenda. So this is our agenda today. I say, okay, we're going to work with the alphabet, shapes, numbers, time, countries. This is the virtual classroom for our workshop today. Now, you can design this classroom, and if your children want to explore the numbers, the planets, the months of the year, the days of the week, they are supposed to click. If they say, oh, teacher, or you say, kids, let's practice the shapes, circle, triangle, they're gonna click here. When they click, you are going to see a video about the planets or about the numbers. But how do you do that? I'm gonna show you just an example. How can you edit this? You go here, and then you say, okay, in the Panamanian flag, I want that when students click, they go to a YouTube about Panama. So you go here, insert video, audio, you say video, you insert the video, and then you just copy and paste the video. And after that, now your classroom is gonna take the kids to a specific link that you already looked before. So this is another idea of how we can do this kind of agenda. So it's not only the agenda, the one that I show you with. Let me go back. So here we have this agenda. So this is my advice. So remember, actually we have now 3 kind of agendas. The one we do in our classrooms with the students there. The second one is this one, more visual agenda. And the third one is the virtual classroom agenda. This is the agenda that I shared with you before. Now, when we're gonna teach young learners, it's really important, relevant that, as I told you before, we take into account some theory. Please, if you teach children, I think we do, all of us, and you want to make an investment on your own professional development, I do recommend this book. I don't work for National Geographic. It's not my business, but this is, I want to show you, or maybe I can send you the picture of this. It's teaching young learners English. It's by Sheen and Crandall. I mean, she's an expert. And here you're gonna find a lot of activities, and you are going to find this handout that I adapted from there. So in this handout, what you're going to find is basically, is an example of this. Okay, we need to consider basically three main aspects when we are teaching children. Number one, characteristics of young learners. Number two, how children learn. And number three, how children learn, specifically language. We don't have enough time, but I want you to, at least I'm going to share the handout with this info. But then you can go and see, okay, let's see whether or not I'm using the right activities with my children. So we have, they are energetic and physically active, not only at the school, but also at home. So now we have to have students jump and, okay, jump 10 times and move and bring the toy, etc. So because they are energetic and physically active. They are spontaneous, you know that, and they speak out and participate a lot. They are curious. So if I say, okay, guys, guess what I have inside my bag. They are, oh, teacher, what is that? I say, oh, it's an elephant. It's an animal. Oh, teacher, they are really curious by nature. Next, they are imaginative. We're going to do an activity in which we are going to be flying to another country, and you have to say, kids, imagine that you're flying and you're going to land. So I'm going to show you an activity about that. Then, okay, they get easily distracted. So we know that. So, but it's just part of our job. They are egocentric sometimes. They say, no, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine, but we know how to deal with that. And then, yeah, they need to be engaged socially with other learners. This is basically, but if you have a book, I want to share with you this handout. Everyone is explained step by step. Now, how children learn? They learn by doing. So now, if we are going to study sea animals, what about if we ask, if it's possible, ask parents of the children to have Play-Doh so they can create jellyfish, they can create a dolphin. That is something that it can be done also in our houses. Now, they need support and scaffolding by the teacher. I can say, okay, Juan, Samuel, describe Woody, describe your favorite toy. But if we don't give examples, if we don't give ideas, what they are going to do? And the problem is not English. It could be even in Spanish. If I say, please describe it in Spanish, teacher, what I'm supposed to say? ¿Qué voy a decir? Yeah, so we need to provide student support with the task they are going to complete. Now, the last one is how children learn the language. In this case, okay, they need a good environment, similar to the one that they use in Spanish. This is one idea. Then, okay, they learn it through meaningful exposure. That is, if they like TV, if they like movies, why don't we use those characters from the movies they like? For example, now there's going to be a movie next week that is going to be a release that is called Godzilla and Kong. I didn't know about Godzilla and Kong, but students love those movies. So we need to get updated so that the knowledge of the teaching and learning process will be connected to students' lives. Now, and okay, when we teach, we need to teach grammar. Like it or not, it's part of our context. It's part of our methodology. Even because, when we talk about communicative approach, it includes vocabulary, grammar. It's not only speaking. So, but what we have to avoid is to say, kids, let's go into describe this using adjectives. Please tell me 5 nouns. No. We have to look for ways to say, okay, please use a word to describe the highlighter. But maybe the words adjectives, nouns, adverbs, these kind of things are going to be maybe between you and me, because we are teachers, we have to talk about in this way, but it's not because we're going to say, okay, now kids, we're going to learn the simple present. What? No. So this is one of the things we have to bear in mind as well. Okay, now let's going to start with some activities. We're going to use a lot of activities this afternoon. So one is about the alphabet. You know that in this case, what I usually do is have students, we are here, just repeat the alphabet, A, B, C, D, or there are some volunteers who can tell me the letters of the alphabet. Okay, Now, another thing that you should do, or we should do is, now, what about spelling the alphabet backwards? Z, Y, X. It's a challenge. It's challenging for even for you, for me, for the students, but what about doing this in another kind of way? So this is the way I start the alphabet with the letters, and then I have this activity. So what you can do is have this handout. So there is a handout that there are many handouts out there and we can get, or we can design our very handout. Now, what we're going to do is, let me see, where are they? Oh, here. Okay, when we are in class, because we're going to, we're going back to class sooner or later. What I do is I have these foamy letters like G, E. So what I usually do is I give students a handout in groups, group of 3 or 4, and I give a set of these kind of letters. So they have the set, and I say, okay, kids, what you are going to do is you are going to match each picture with the first sound. So this is apple. So you have to choose and look for the letter A, and then go there and have the letter A over the word. Now, what about another one? This one, G. Okay, I go, I get G, and then I have to look for, students, we're gonna help, of course, we're gonna help, and we have to support the activity. And then they say, okay, yes, grapes. So grapes, and they look for grapes. Another one, okay, G, I have another one, F, with F, fish. Then we have W. Okay, this is an activity, remember that even you can do it now online. We say, okay, let's go into start. This is a pig, the first letter, P, hat, H. So this is an idea that we can use to review letter by letter. If students are a little bit more advanced, we can also use the next activity that is about spelling. You know, what I usually do is tell, okay, guys, kids, how many words do you know from there? So you're gonna have like your timer, get a timer and say, I'm gonna give you 1 minute, 2 minutes, and let me know how many words do you know from the picture. If students don't know how to read, how to write, okay, that's okay. It's more verbally, it's like in Spanish. It's more spoken activity. I can say, oh, teacher, me sé tres. Okay, you know 3. Oh, teacher, me sé cuatro. You know 4. Yeah, which ones? Oh, teacher, me sé la manzana. Okay, how do you say manzana? Apple, banana, and so on. There are some that are not that common for students. Maybe, I don't know, maybe keys, not that common, volcano, but this is the idea that there is a mix of words that students might know and other kind of words that students don't know. Imagine having this math with the students, with words that students don't know any one of them. So it's gonna be frustrating and kind of boring sometimes. So now here, what I can do is, if I'm using this kind of way of giving your class like Zoom or Google Meet, these kind of things, what you can do is, okay, what you can do is, let's say, I say, I can call on students. I say, please, I want to say Samuel. So what Samuel is going to do is basically select a word that he or she wants to spell. I say, teacher, I want to choose banana. So, okay, no, before that, I can have the words here. What you can do with these words, I have said before, you can spend 1 minute with this activity, from 1 minute to 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week. If you want to make the activity longer, you just say, okay, let's go into practice, spelling. And when the students say, oh, teacher, I want to spell apple, and then you can ask, what do you prefer? Green apples or red apples? Or something about tomatoes, umbrella. It's up to you what you can do with this activity. And after that, once the students have reviewed these kind of activities, I can ask, okay, now I can say, Italia, I can say, Joel, please give me a word that you want to spell. And Joel says, oh, Mauro, I want to spell moon. So Joel is going to spell moon, but the next student can't choose moon. So he has or she, they have to think about another word. Actually here, I don't know why I can't use the pencil thing, but anyway, so this is one idea that you can use with students spelling the words. Or sometimes, if it's possible, you can say, okay, I'm going to spell a word. You can say N-E-S-T. If students can share, like, you know, when they are able to draw, especially in Zoom, I can say, okay, I'm going to spell a word aloud, and you are going to select or show me what is the word. You can say Q-U-E-E-N, and let's see whether or not that is our teacher is Queen. If I say T-O-T-O-M-A-T-O, who says that? Oh, tomato. So this is another way that we are practicing everything, listening, we are practicing speaking, reading, because they have to read, and this is actually another, the alphabet activity. Now, in this book, one of the pages that I found in the book, I mean, you can practice like these kind of sentences. Dora drew a dog. Okay, what we're going to do? This is the book. Kids have to trace a line with the words that contain, or they have a D. So pond, donkey, daisy, no more. Okay, why I have these pictures on the right? Why? Because we can make connections with, let's say, with our students' lives. Maybe they don't know Daisy. Daisy is more like an old cartoon, but anyways, it's just to show you an example how we can say, okay, who knows what's her name? Oh, teacher, yeah, Daisy Donald. Okay, so now, if we are practicing colors of physical appearance or animals, we can ask, okay, please, describe Daisy Donald, or what animal is she, or these kind of things. I mean, you can use it with many topics that we are supposed to teach in our classes. Now, Daisy. Oh, I found that the book on the back, it has some stickers. So when you have the picture here, like with this, that means that students need to go to the back of the book and find the Daisy. Okay, now what I have here is Daisy. So Daisy is a word that I'm connecting, because maybe students know Daisy. I mean, a Daisy, they're in the houses, in the neighborhoods, they have seen Daisy before. So that is how we can expand this piece of paper from the book to a student's lives, like cartoons and flowers, because usually, I know maybe it's not your fault, it's not our fault, but we just tend to teach the same vocabulary. I mean, like eyes, nose, but what about if we go beyond, and sometimes we can teach also flowers, like Daisy is an example. Now, this is about the alphabet. Okay, now, we are supposed to work, let's see, with projects in our classrooms, or tasks, small tasks, activities. What about if we design like here, virtually we can design a PowerPoint, or when we go, because we have to think about that these activities are going to be useful not only for the rest of this semester at home, also when we go back to school. So what about if we create like this mini poster for the whole class, 30 students, 25, and what is going to be the task? Okay, kids, for next class, next week, we have to tell parents, of course, everybody is going to like draw a dog. And then you're going to send me those pictures, and me, I know I need to do more things, but what I'm going to do is create like this poster using students' pictures. And we are relating the sentence, Dora drew a dog. So here we have the example. Always we need to model. Please, if I say, niños dibujen un perrito, or draw a dog, etc., and I didn't show, or I just say that, everybody's going to get confused. Children, parents, and that is why they're going to start calling you professor, teacher, the activity, what we have to do. So that is why we are expected to provide examples. This is a good example. And then, for example, I have a student whose name is Josue. Josue sent me this book, the book dog. Okay, Josue drew a dog. So I just going to organize this. You need to give options. Okay, kids, you can draw yourselves with the dog, or you can draw only the dog. Or what about Carolina? Here we see that Carolina say, teacher, yo quise dibujar mi familia con el perrito. Okay, you drew your family with the dog. That's okay, because I'm not saying that everybody's going to do or draw the same dog, the same people. No. In this case, students are going to be creative. Teacher, ¿puedo dibujar el perrito de mi vecina? Yes. Teacher, ¿puedo dibujar? Yes. What, I mean, the dog, whatever dog you want. But the idea is that you send me or give me this next class, give me a picture, a drawing of a dog. So look how this paper is part of the book, but we can go beyond. This paper, because you assign this activity for your students, they're going to finish in 10 minutes. And then you say, what I'm going to do? So what you're going to do is go beyond with these kind of activities. Let's suppose that you are working with portfolios, like a way of assessment. So you're going to say, oh, okay, this paper or this activity is perfect for your kids' portfolios because they are including activities that include, they include their classmates. And you know that if we as adults are proud of ourselves when we see like our pictures there, imagine little kids when they see that the pictures are shown there, I don't know, in the classroom, in the PowerPoint. So it's going to be one activity that is extra to that page from the book. Now, we have to teach some words like, let's suppose that today we're going to teach the letter K. What can we do? Okay, we're going to show the words like bike, donkey, book, tiger, truck, koala. You know, we can teach that way, and then you can have students spelled B-I-K-E. Okay, how do you spell book? How do you spell koala? And you can ask many questions. You can say, okay, how many animals are there? How many books? How many trucks? Colors, shapes. For example, you can have okay, guys, have you ever seen a donkey? Have you ever seen a koala? So we can use any grammar structure, or do you like anything you have to teach. Now, we have the letter K. The students are going to draw the lines for the words that have the letter K. Okay? So far, so good. And this is an activity that we already know, and it's kind of, it's proper for our kids. But now, the extra activity that I'm going to share with you is this one. What about, let's going to memorize the images. So, what I'm going to tell you is that it doesn't mean that this activity is only to be carried out with PowerPoint technology. No, you can do it with real objects. You can do it on your classroom, or you can do it more technologically, like here. So this is the activity we're going to do. Remember that you are going to have these PowerPoints. That means that you can modify. You're going to modify. Now, I say, please, kids, memorize where the pictures are. You have 10 seconds. Okay, you say, oh, Mike, dice la bicicleta está allí. Okay, they start. Now, you have 10 seconds. Oh, sorry, I stopped. Okay, 10 seconds. Now, remember, now, question. Okay. What is the donkey? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Who said that? What is the donkey? Donkey. Okay, please, you can write in the chat if you remember where the donkey is. Joel, you, what is the donkey?
5.
Okay, let's see. 1, no, 2. Is it number 2? Okay, now, I'm not going to do everything because, we get tired of our voice and everything. Now, the next sentence is going to be asked. I can say, Laura, please ask Mateo. So Laura is going to ask, Mateo, where is the teacher? ¿Cómo se dice libro? Okay. How do you say libro in English? Oh, book. So Laura is going to say, Mateo, where is the book? Where is the book? Mateo is supposed to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. By the way, what is the book? Where is the book? Number 1, no. What is it? 2, 3. It was on number 4. So this is kind of demanding sometimes, challenging for students, for kids to remind where the objects are. And not only for with the vocabulary from the book, you can modify the activity. And now, as I told you before, I mean, it's not that I love Toy Story, though. I just want to give you an example of what kind of resources or topics we are supposed to include with our children. So this is an example of the famous Toy Story movie. So we have Forky, Slinky Dog, Woody, Bullseye, Buzz Lightyear, Little Bo Peep. Here also students are learning the words of their favorite characters in English, and we too, I mean, we are also learning though. Now, again, the same activities, the same one. Where is Slinky Dog? So you have to ask, and you can play with the students and the one who says that.
Number 2.
Number 2, yes, Slinky Dog. Here we can also practice utensils. Forky, like fork, a spoon, and I'm gonna use this the whole workshop just to show, okay, and if you happen to have one of the characters, it's good because, I mean, they can compare, they can see the character, that it's like using Realia. Now, where is Little Bo Peep? 1.
Number
Exactly.
6.
Yeah, good memory. Yeah, number 6. Okay, we use it with the things from the book. Now, the colors that we is a must in our classes. Again, we give some time and then we say, hey, where is, look, I don't have the word yellow. I have something yellow. That means that if students don't know how to read well, that's okay as far as they learn where is it's challenging. What is the yellow box or the yellow thing? Now, okay, we have to memorize and then, oh, it's number 5. And we go on and on. And now, what is the color? Oh, green. And here, it could be like a warm up when we teach the colors, because we are providing students with a like warming up activity so that our lesson today is gonna be like colors. Now, before going on, I want to show you something. You see that it could take some time to do these kind of activities, but what I told you before is that you are going to have this PowerPoint. You say, no, I didn't like Mauricio's category. I want to use maybe the Lion King characters. So you go here, cambiar imagen, and you just gonna change the image. Say, no, I want to have the Lion King or a lion or I'm teaching another kind of vocabulary. I'm teaching clothes. I'm teaching cities. Even you can use this to teach provinces in Panama, cities. Imagine, the sky is the limit when it comes to use these activities, and you can edit these activities. That's easy. Maybe it's gonna take time when you say, oh, I want to design my very own activity. But this is the thing. If I already design it and it's here, and I'm going to share this PowerPoint with you, please spend that time with your family, with other things. But if you have the things ready, don't think that you need to redesign or only adapt, edit, but it's gonna take a lot of time. So that is one thing that I wanna make sure that if we have this already, don't be like, no, not shy, but just use it. Okay, what happens when you use this kind of PowerPoints? It's an example. You can say, okay, I'm gonna use it, but I didn't design it, so I feel bad with Joel, I feel bad with Mauro, I feel bad with, no, just say, you can write a small kind of sentence at the beginning, okay, PowerPoint designed by Joel Alvarez. That's okay, and then you're gonna say, okay, I'm using something that I learned in the workshop, but I mean, it's okay, but I'm not saying that I designed this. In case you are kind of worried about this kind of things that who designed, I don't want to use it. No, don't worry about it. Now, let's go on with, what about with colors? With colors, you can use the famous flashcards. Flashcards, we have the black, the way you have already taught this, and you can use this kind of PowerPoints. One thing that I want to share with you is, even though there are tons of new apps and expensive, and if you pay the first time, they're gonna be charging you more and more all year long. I know that we can do this and we can get apps, but still I believe that PowerPoint is quite the best and easy and is really cheap. So as you can see, everything that I want to share with you today is PowerPoint based. Even the Google Slide, the virtual classroom is basically PowerPoint because Google Slides is kind of PowerPoint. So it's also the message that I want to share with you. PowerPoint is still a good tool, unless, your principal or you, or I don't know, who says, okay, no, please don't use PowerPoint because it's old, it's bad, you have to spend money on Genially, on these kind of things. That's okay. But my advice is that a PowerPoint is still a good and free app or tool. Here, okay, you have the students. Remember, in this case, I can say, Ana Maria, Joel, Juan, please, you are my students, my kids, read the colors aloud. I don't have to read everything. So students also are going to participate, and you know that they like that. When you say, who wants to read the colors? For sure, 10, 15, 5 students are going to start yelling, teacher, me, Joe, I don't know, because they love doing so. So it's not going to be difficult to find volunteers when we work with kids. When we work with teenagers, oh yes, getting volunteers is not that easy. And with adults, it's not that easy. But with kids, it's the best because they want to volunteer in all activities. So we go on with the colors. And then we can add this. We're going to say, okay, kids, my favorite color is, and if we have 20 students, 25, we can select some of them. Okay, I want you to tell me what's your favorite color. But what we are doing is that previously we provided kids with the colors. It's not like, hey, surprise, tell the colors. No, they need to review the colors before the activity. Now they say, oh, teacher, yeah, my favorite color is black, blue. Teacher, me gusta el azul clarito. ¿Cómo se dice azul clarito, azul oscuro? So this is part of our classes. They're going to be asking those kind of questions. And then in our classes, not only with the books, in our schools, we are told, or when we have the group of colleagues in preschool, especially in preschool, first grade, okay, we say, okay, friends, colleagues, etc. We need to work with colors every week. So pink 1 week, blue another week. It happens in our preschool sometimes. I want to give you a strategy that I use to teach colors. Okay. This is called the mystery bag. Mystery bag. This week's color is going to be pink. So pink. And please, when you use these pictures, ask questions. Kids, how many children can you see in the picture? Teacher, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they count. Okay, how many boys? How many girls? Many things are they happy? Are they sad? One day I asked, okay, kids, what do you have in common with the kids? And one kid said, oh, teacher, they are happy like me. They say in Spanish, of course, they are happy like me. So you're going to find, when you compare, okay, what is the difference between those kids and ourselves? They say, oh, teacher, maybe they are, I don't know, they have many ideas about it. Now, okay, this is the mystery bag. In the mystery bag, I have some objects that I'm going to teach today. So what I'm using now is realia. One thing, when we are in the schools, it's difficult to have many objects. Imagine, if we are in the preschool, we don't have a bed. But in the house, we have a bed. So students can practice pillow. For example, we have a pillow, a spoon, fork. What I'm trying to say that now that our kids, children, are at home, we need to take advantage of the way that they can improve their vocabulary. Why? Because when we go back to school, there are many objects that belong to the house, not to the high school, to the kindergarten. So now this is the way that we can foster vocabulary that we find at our places. Now, for example, look, I say, okay, kids, remember that I told you before they have to imagine, that, I mean, they have to like, we have to promote, foster curiosity. Now, I say, I have something in my mystery bag. Teacher, ¿qué es eso? No sabemos. Okay, I say, okay, this is, I mean, when I have a party, I use this for parties to decorate the party. So, or, I mean, of course, it depends on the level. I have to use Spanish, which is not bad at all, but it all depends on our context. I mean, I'm just assuming that we are kind of everything. We have to speak Spanish a lot, or we only have to speak English. It's up to you, but the idea is that I'm going to give you the strategy. Okay. Oh, what is that? It's flexible. Some of you, niños, algunos de ustedes, put water, agua, inside. Teacher, un globo. Yeah. This is a balloon. Yeah. So now what I'm doing is presenting the new vocabulary today. So this is a balloon. In case it happens, I need to teach the structure, adjective, and noun. I'm not going to tell the students, vamos a aprender noun and adjective. No, I'm going to say, okay, kids, what color is this balloon? Teacher, pink. So this is a pink balloon. Pink balloon. This is a big or small, kids? Big or small? Oh, teacher, small. So this is a small balloon. In that way, what we are doing is teaching the really difficult structure when we speak Spanish, like adjective, noun, noun, adjective, is really confusing for our students. So this is one way that we can do it. Now, we have another object. Okay, I use this for school, guys. When you write with a pencil, you need this erase. Oh, wait, okay. It's an eraser. What color is it? Pink. So a pink eraser. I have another school supply in my mystery bag. Okay, teacher, what is it? Ah, okay, I use it to, well, I have to say like these words, but okay, something like similar to a marker. Okay, I say, it's similar. I don't know, this is one. But anyway, so this is, okay, this is a highlighter. And now I can give some clues. Look, kids, I have this. Teacher, ¿qué es eso? Okay, it's also pink. Teacher, una flor, a flower. Yes, what kind of flower is it? All right, this is a carnation. Carnation, oh, teacher, ¿qué es eso? Un clavel. So what I'm saying is that, look, I am presenting the vocabulary and now using real objects, realia. And now my PowerPoint, I don't need to start my class with the PowerPoint now. No, my PowerPoint is going to be maybe the third, the fourth part of the class, not the first one. Why? Because look now. Oh, let me see. No, I'm going to show you the color PowerPoint. This is the PowerPoint about the pink. And now what we're going to do is change the colors. Oh, this is the PowerPoint. Okay, number one, pig. Yeah, we have the pig. We have the pencil. So what is our job, your job? Next time you're gonna use this activity, look for this kind of objects also. Now, flower. Ah, okay, yeah. It's not, I mean, it's not exactly the same, but it's a carnation. Yeah, this is a flower. So look, it's like a relation between a real object. What is better for you, for me, for kids? To have real objects or just a picture? Both are good, but maybe this is going to be more valuable. Next, eraser. Ah, yeah, the one that the teachers show us, the eraser. I have dolphin. Teacher, delfines rosados? Yes. In Amazonas, in Colombia, we have pink dolphins. So what I'm doing in class, and also I can look for a video clip, YouTube, about the dolphins, pink dolphins in Amazonas. So if I have time, I can say, kids, yeah, in our country, Colombia, we have beautiful pink dolphins in Amazonas. And now what we're going to do is we're going to watch a video. Oh, yeah. So it's going to be exciting. Then gift. I can say, do you like gifts? Yes, no. Notebook, pink notebook. Balloons, of course, the one that the teacher had in class. I can ask, please tell me, how many balloons can you see? El que diga primero gana. How many balloons do you see? Oh, it's challenging, but because it's not that easy. But let's suppose that there are 12 balloons and a student say, teacher, 10. You say more. Teacher, 20. Less. So you can play with that. When students, you have students guess how many balloons are there. It's going to take some time for them, but make it like a game. You say more, less, yes. In that way, students are going to be like saying numbers and trying to find the right number. Bicycle, yes, bicycle. Umbrella, umbrella, right? And finally, the highlighter. So what is going to be our task or homework for next class? Please, kids, look for something pink in your house. And next class, tomorrow, next week, you are going to show us the object on the screen. Teacher, no tengo ningún objeto con rosado. Okay, what you're going to do is draw something and show us to the picture. I mean, we have to give possibilities, but they say, no, I have nothing. I mean, with pink, just say draw. Or, I mean, there are many possibilities, like using Play-Doh, but I think the students can get something pink. And next class, I'm gonna say, okay, Brenda, show us your object. Teacher, I have a balloon too. Teacher, I have like a eraser. So I have something like, I don't know, maybe this hand. I mean, they don't, but it's an example. So it's something that students, okay. And now in next class, what the students are going to do is tell us at least the object. What is the name? What is the name? Imagine 25 kids, 30 kids, 10, 5, showing objects. And sometimes maybe there are new vocabulary for us because teacher, I found this, uy, ¿cómo se dirá eso? How do you say that in English? Even we don't know, but this is good. And if you are teaching the noun, adjective, noun, students are going to tell you the complete sentence. Okay, teacher, kids, friends, this is a pink highlighter. This is a pink flower. Or if you are teaching, I like, I don't like. What about if you say, oh, teacher, Sarah, Sarah say, oh, I love, or I like flowers like this one. I like, I love. So as you can see, we can use this PowerPoint or this kind of color activity and expand it. And there is a website that I'm going to show you. Okay, what happens? This is kind of technology, of course, but you say, teacher, my principal told me that I am supposed to send a link to students so they can practice. Imagine that one of your students, or many of your students couldn't go to class because they couldn't connect at the exact time. So what you're going to do is that also those students are going to have the chance to practice what we learned in our class. So that is why I'm going to share, actually, I'm going to share the pink PowerPoint. I can convert it to PDF and send it to their emails. And now students are going to play this game at home. Okay, well, what are they going to do? Look at something. I'm going to use the same words that I taught yesterday, that I taught before in this like word search, notebook, and you go ahead, and bicycle. You have to match the clue. Oh yeah, sorry, you have to match, okay, bicycle, and then you have to match, it's even better. You have to match the picture. Now, in this way, what we are doing is using teaching pink in different ways. Realia, PowerPoint. These are like a more interactive activities. So we are teaching the pink in almost all formats possible. That is why we need to get ready for those students who say, oh, we need extra practice. So the extra practice means that you are going to use this exercise, like the word wall exercise. Now, if we are following a book, why? I'm going to show you something. In our case in Colombia, we have a curriculum for the whole nation, for Colombia. And we need to follow some of those functions or objectives. So, for example, when we teach first grade, they say the students are going to be able to learn the colors. We need, sometimes we need a book, but what we're going to do is expand the activities from the book. But since the students are going to buy the book, they have to use it. Otherwise, as parents are going to complain, oh, why we got the book and the students aren't using it? Okay, yes, sir. Yes, mom. We are going to use it, but not every single minute. We are going to use it sometimes, but also I'm going to provide your kids with extra activities. So this is an extra activity that you can find on those books. And then we have this. They're going to match with the stickers. Please, if you're going to use one of those books or this book, not only those books, what is going to happen? You also can create these kind of activities in which you or we as teachers, we are going to show students what they have to do. For example, you have this book and the students are working from home. For sure, if we don't have a PowerPoint slide, giving instructions could be more difficult for students to understand. So, but if you have an example here, say, guys, please open your book on page 45. And this is what we have to do. Okay, teacher, what? Okay, look, the stickers and so on and so on. And for sure, if you provide this example, everybody is going to understand the task better. Parents, kids, everybody. Now here, we have the rainbow, we can practice more. And then it's just to show you. And then students, of course, you're not going to show everything. No, just number one, red. And then, okay, kids, what is number two? Teacher, okay, orange, number three. So you have to keep asking. The less we speak, the better. That means that when we speak less English, the class could be more successful because that means that students are participating more. And also we get tired of our voice. And this is an example of how you can connect this. Now, we have scrambled sentences because actually, as I told you before, after, let's say, 4 or 5 years old, 7 years old, our students are not going to learn English the way as a native speaker learns because our context, Panama, Colombia is not it's like a more Spanish language content. So we have to provide students with grammar that's needed. Now, when we have this, what we can do, if we want to work with colors, you can get like this kind of resources like colored paper, and you're gonna think, okay, this year, 2021, all my pronouns are going to be green. All my verbs are going to be blue, but you're not going to tell that to the parents or to your kids. No, you're gonna tell that to your colleagues at school. Okay, Maria, why you want to do? Because we are using more like grammar words. This kind of vocabulary. So what we're going to do is we can have this, and students are going to complete the sentences. This is an example we have, and then of course, it's going to take more time. We have to explain the structure and everything, and we have to look for the ways to teach this. But what I want to tell you that how this scrambled sentences activity can be transformed into a project, class-based project. What do you mean? Similar to the one we did before, now we're talking about a cat, a kitten, and now the same project, similar. Okay, our teacher has a cat. In case you have a cat or a dog, I do recommend that you take a picture of yourself showing your cat, your dog. Why? Because the students like to know more about our, like, I mean, life, in this case, our animals. Oh, I mean, they say, oh, look at the teacher's cat. Teacher, what's his name, her name? And as I told you before, this is a good way to create a classroom project. If we are in our classroom, we can create a gallery walk project. But now that we are online, remember, we can use PowerPoint or other resources to create, so that make sure that all of your students, even though they don't have a cat, they draw a cat that maybe they want to have in the future. It's something like we have to think about it. Now, let's go on with spelling. Okay, spelling. Okay, there are many ways to teach spelling. I want to share with you some of them. Here, we can use whisper it. I mean, like with some actions, okay? Whisper, you know, up, down, over, under. Say it, okay, up, down, or clap it, up, down, over, under. So this is a way that we can teach also like these kind of words that are really used, prepositions. Remember that in English, based on what Professor Force said that there are three P's. The most difficult things to learn in English are based on three P's: prepositions, present perfect, and phrasal verbs. So what we are doing now is going beyond our students like process, and from kindergarten, from first grade, teaching one of those topics that Professor Force or many people think are difficult for many people, like prepositions. So we are practicing this. Now we have scrambled words. I want to give you a tip when we work with scrambled words. What is the tip? Always that we designed activities with scrambled words, make sure that the first letter, here I'm not applying that because we have only three letters, but when you have three letters, it's more difficult. I want to show you another example. So here we have bus. Okay, we have the word and the picture. Car, boat, and bike. Okay. But the tip doesn't apply to this, but I wanted to show you what you have to do. Okay, when you have more than 5-letter words or 7, make sure that the first letter is at the right place and the last letter is at the right place. Here is not because we have only short words, but when you're going to do a scrambled word activity, make sure that the first and the last letter are in the right place. Now here, we also need to teach means of transportation in our classes. I want to show you how we can do it. Okay, first, always try to include a picture on, like the first slide is going to be a picture. You can ask many questions about this picture. Where is it? How many cars can you see? How many houses? Is the day? Let's suppose that we are also teaching weather conditions in our class. So here is a good connection to ask, hey guys, what's the weather like? Is it morning, afternoon? So even though we don't know exactly what part of the day it is, but students are going to like give us some examples of that. And with transportation, I want to use another presentation that I have, and I want to show you why this also can be used even for kindergarten students of first grade also. So now we have the slide. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use several means of transportation. We're going to mix. We're going to have a mix of ones that they don't know and ones that students know. Mauro, what do you mean? Okay, I mean, maybe in Colombia, some kids have seen a Bianca airplane, so I can use it to make kind of connection. But we go on and say, okay, now boat. In Panama, there are, kids, maybe they have seen more boats than in Medellin because we don't have like the ocean. So that is why I'm telling you, try to mix means of transportation that are students are familiar with and ones that students have no idea about it. Bus, canoe, helicopter, like, and now, this is the thing I like the most. We need to contextualize. In Medellin, we have like 5 metro cables. So if you happen to come to Medellin, that hopefully you will sooner or later, you can visit or you can know the whole Valle de la Aburrá Valley in one day because there are 5 metro cables. And if you ride on those metro cables, you're going to see the whole city in one day. So that is why I'm going to use metro cable. Why? Because it's good to connect this topic with students. Why? Because they see metro cables almost every day. And then I have metro. Teacher, ¿cómo se dice metro en inglés? No, metro is Metro de Medellín. This is the name that we use here for the metro. For the metro, I can ask. You need to look for the ways to ask. Have you ever ridden the metro? Or have you been? Or what is the closest station to you? And students say, oh, teacher, yeah, mi papá sí toma el metro. Okay, my dad takes the metro every day. So they compare. They don't take the metro every day. They talk about their family. For sure, some of them uses the metro and use them. Okay, now motorcycle, taxi, ship, yacht. Okay, this is the way that we can work on this. And then we can design this handout so that the students can organize or match the transport means of transportation with the way they are in air, on land, on water. But again, if you want to go beyond, you can have this activity from PowerPoint and you can assign it as homework or a classroom practice with the same kind of vocabulary we use in our classes. So here we have canoe. So they have to look canoe, metro, boat, airplane, ship. I got a suggestion. In case you're working with Zoom or Google Meet, it happens. Some of your students are able and they like sharing the screen. So what I do recommend, in case you can do it, is send the link to your students through the chat and ask with the help of some parents who can share the screen. And I'm sure that this activity works out because you're not going to do anything. Your student, one of them, is going to do this activity in front of the class. Now in virtual class. And then we have the activity. And finally, students are going to submit answers. They say good. Which ones are good? Which ones aren't? So we can check. And this is the way that we can connect the PowerPoint of the activity with our class. So this is another topic that is kind of a must in our classes. And these are more activities from the book that you can use to practice vocabulary and things. But what is the message with this? Now remember, if possible, you can take a picture or you can scan the picture. Just create your own PowerPoint so students can see what they have to do. And here we have a spelling. With the spelling, I kind of recommend that if it's possible, get some flashcards. So these are ones that are called rhyming flashcards. So with these flashcards, you can also work these activities. Why? Because I can say, okay, we have, what is this, kids? Plant. And I have to look for, let's see, some words that are going to rhyme. For example, I have crown, and they're going to spell the word. So I love these flashcards because you can use it to review some vocabulary. Now, when it comes to vocabulary, make sure that your students are going to increase it with your help. What I mean, if nose is not this, remember, it's like kids, this is similar to nose, but instead of N, have an H. So maybe with that connection, your students are going to learn a new word. So you say nose and hose. So these are some flashcards. For example, this one when you have like, okay, you can ask kids, do they rhyme? Teacher, what? Clown and crown. Yes, kids. Do they rhyme? No or yes? Yes. Fish and clown. So look, we are not in the classroom. In the classroom, we can use this and play on the blackboard, sitting on the floor. But also we need to look for ways to transmit or to do these kind of activities from home. And this is a way that we can use it. And this is okay, here, what we are doing is using our books in class, but going beyond with extra resources. I know that, my advice is we need to invest in our professional development. So if we happen to have 10 extra bucks, $5, I don't know, they cost like 5, 10, why don't we try to get one set of these flashcards once in a while, and we can start getting our resources because, this is part of our professional development, also to get our own resources. This is my advice. This is my piece of advice. It's worth investing in our resources. All right, now, let me see. Okay, now we're going to work with sight words. Sight words are really famous. What is that? They say, this is a list, and they say 80% of those sight words like and, you, go, are found in 50% of children's book. That is why we also are expected to include in our classes the super famous sight words. We are going to find lots of resources that are called, the name is sight words, flashcards, posters, books, everything. So every time you see sight words in your life, just say, oh, it's gonna be useful for my classes. There is a list, 2020 Dutch words. There are many words. Now, when we're going to use a book for this one, they say, with this handout, we are going to practice sight words. Okay, that's kind of good because many kids love sea animals. They love to learn octopus. They love when they listen jellyfish, octopus. They are kind of extremely happy. This activity is just to color the sight words. But remember, we are going beyond this piece of paper. Our book. I love my book. Parents love the kids' book, but I want to go beyond. Now, I'm going to take advantage of sea animals. What I'm going to do is, okay. Actually, I'm going to share with you these resources. What are those? If you are teaching, we are teaching little kids. I want to make sure that Joel is going to share with you this link or this folder. What is this folder all about? This folder is folder that I have only with these resources, coloring resources. You say, Mauro, I am teaching transportation. I need to complement this with an activity. Perfect, look. These are beautiful, beautiful papers. Handouts. Look, this is the coloring book for transportation. And then you can design or just print it and then select the ones that you're going to use with the kids. One thing that I told you before, I found this, I think last year, and they were designed by some people from India. Now, they are really generous and they say, free, use it with your kids. So what I'm doing is taking advantage of that and using those resources. We don't have time now to start thinking, oh, I want to draw my own bicycle. I don't like the bicycle there. No. We are going to be like more practical. In this folder, you also have some activities about like, okay, our topic today is an example, is sea animals. So we have sea animals. And here we have sea animals. Also, we have a 15, 14 paper coloring book. Now, we are going now to share, I'm going to share the way that we can teach sea animals from, I mean, we already saw the activity from the book, but now what we're going to do is, I want to show you how we can prepare a lesson on sea animals. Okay, I say, okay, let's begin with the date. Kids, you want to tell me the date. Then, okay, again, how many pictures, how many fish do you see, and so on. And now I'm going to practice some vocabulary before students do the following thing. Now, dolphin. How many dolphins can you see? Are you seeing how many? 1, 2. Have you ever seen a dolphin in real life? Yes or no? We have fish. How many fish? What color, etc. So we can explore each animal. As you can see, on purpose, I don't have only one jellyfish. No, I need to have different. Because if I say how many, it's not possible to ask how many with only one. I mean, oh no, it's possible, but it's going to be the same answer. Teacher, 1, 1, 1. No, what I did was, because previously I taught 10 numbers from 1 to 10. Now is the way that I can connect this with the sea animals. I have octopuses, like I have shark, I have manta ray, well, you name it. Then this is the interesting part. I say, kids, who wants to visit an aquarium? Teacher, yo, me, okay. Okay, this is the way I told you before from the book, and they say, okay, make it believe. Students need to be like in a movie. We need to be like, I mean, they have to get inside a movie or this kind of things. Now, let's say, okay, kids, now get ready. We are in Medellin, Colombia. Everybody's gonna be ready at their houses. And we are going to visit an aquarium in Atlanta. Okay, now kids, get ready. We are going to fly. It's gonna be a 4-hour flight. You can say everything in English. So, okay, kids, get ready. Seat belts. It's gonna take 4 hours from Medellin to Atlanta. We are going to Atlanta. We're going to be landing. Okay, and I can say that. You can say that. Okay, please look. Look. Oh, wow. We are seeing like Jamaica, Cuba. Then, kids, we are about to land in the United States, in the US. Get ready, kids. Now they get ready. Kids, look, you can see, if you are sitting on the right, you can see the city of Atlanta. Oh, wow. Next, kids, get ready. We are going to land. So everybody is going to be like quiet and safe. So be safe, fasten your seatbelts, and we're gonna be landing in less than a minute. So everybody's gonna be like expecting.
400.
So keep speaking and
300. Minimums.
now kids,
200.
we are landing in 5 seconds. 5, 4, you have to move.
100.
So you have to tell them, you have to move, kids, move. And they
50,
move.
40, 30, 20, 10.
All right, so we landed, guys. Now we are in Atlanta, Georgia, and so on. So now, kids, we are going to take the train and we are going to visit the Georgia Aquarium. Oh, yes. So we're going to see in 1 minute, we're going to see huge whales. We're going to see jellyfish and many things. This is the map of the aquarium. Okay, kids, get ready because we are going to see those sea animals soon. No. Okay, now what I do before getting back to Colombia, I have to get ready my Georgia Aquarium website. Here in this Georgia Aquarium website, kids, okay, look, they are going to watch the aquarium live. So now in Georgia, at the same time, like in Colombia, and what we're going to be doing is like, we are going to visit the aquarium live. So here, kids are gonna be like, oh no. And I'm going to start asking questions. Please, if you see a fish, say fish. If you see a manta ray, say manta ray. Or please tell me how many manta rays can you see? Then kids are going to get bored in 1 minute. So since they are going to get bored, teacher, no queremos ver más esto. Teacher, we don't want to see this anymore. So get ready, kids, because we are going to visit the jellyfish. Oh, no. Yes. And if they haven't seen a jellyfish before, please look at the cameras, how surprised they are going to be. And that is something, but why? We are going to be honest with kids because as you can see, this is a live video. We are not lying to them, say, oh, yes, kids. No, we can make sure that this is live because we have to be actually honest with that. So after that, we visit the aquarium and we say, kids, okay, we have spent like the whole afternoon in Atlanta. Now it's time to go back to Colombia. Oh, no, yes. So since everything is going to be quite real, now we say, kids, we are going to get ready to take off. Take off. So we are providing to kids with new words, taking off. So now that we are taking off, get ready, and we start taking off, and now, no, so sad. We are going back to Colombia, but it's good because you're gonna see your parents again. Yeah, so you go back, and then we get to Rio Negro. So, and we get to Rio Negro, and then again, we just coming back, and we are going to land. If you have been to Colombia, this is our airport in Colombia, in Medellin. After that, what you are going to do is, you can add the famous baby shark, right? And also, as I told you before, you can use Play-Doh so that the students, okay, we visited the Atlanta, Georgia Aquarium last week or yesterday. Now, everybody's going to design using Play-Doh your favorite animal, the favorite animal you saw in the aquarium. And finally, we are going to play a memory game. The students are going to tell me two numbers. Teacher, 1, 8. No es una pareja. No. 2, 7. No. I mean, it's like, I don't know where the animals are, but it's an example of what we can do as an after activity. Now, quickly, very quickly, I want to say, Mauro, teacher, I'm not using sea animals. We already learned that, but now I'm using more like white animals. Okay, no problem. What you are going to do is doing something similar to this one, but no with, okay, here we have, okay, kids, we are going to see a monkey. We are going to see a tiger. So you show the animals one by one, and they practice. And now what I'm changing is the animals and also the context. Why? Okay, I can practice more. What is this? Lion, beast, how many, etc. and etc. And now I'm flying, but I'm not flying. Okay, you have to do it quickly. I'm not flying from Medellin, no, because my students are from Panama, and we're not going to Atlanta. We are going to Africa. Oh, kids, okay, we are going to go to the airport to Kumen, and then we're going to fly to Kenya. Okay, now, kids, get ready. I mean, I don't know, we're going to go in the right direction, but we're going to get Africa in 10 minutes, and then you can use some of the things. Okay, I also actually had my passengers there. Anyways, and okay, kids, we are getting ready to Africa, Kenya, where we're gonna see some, okay, so here is the part in which you're gonna have like ready. I mean, I don't have it ready now, but what we're going to do is you are going to have like some, it's like live camera in Africa. So here, students got ready to visit elephants, to see giraffes, to see monkeys. And this is another website. Okay, of course, now it's night in Africa. So yeah, we need to take into account that this is night. But it's a website in which students can visit and can see now no jellyfish, no whales, but they're gonna watch like giraffes, lions, and this is in Kenya. This is, okay, these ones are not live, but it's another idea that I have for you to use in your classes when we are going to teach this kind of these activities or these topics. Joel, how are we with time?
Hello, hello, hello. We have
5
10
minutes, no.
10 more minutes.
All right, Joel.
I would like to say more time here with you because every time you bring something new. But I know that we have to respect people's agenda as well.
Agendas, yeah. So 10 minutes will be done, will be enough. Okay, now I'm sharing with you a collection of websites that I created last year. I don't know why I'm using the chat. Okay, now the chat. All right. Now, uh, I'm not sharing with you these links right now, but I'm going to make sure. I'm sure that I'm going to create a Google Drive folder so that Joel can share with you, and you're going to everything that we saw, we practice, we review today. You're gonna have access to it. And now this is a website in which actually I'm gonna share it with you right now. It's a website in which you are going to find lots of activities for children. And an example, you want to practice with your kids something about, again, nature or animals. If you go to this website that is included there, it's amazing. I love it. Love it. Why? Because it's like a National Geographic magazine for kids, but I know it's digital. So what is going to happen is that you go here and you can select which topic you want to include in your classes. You say caring for wombats, that we don't know what that is, life in a box, or village in the sky. If you are teaching houses, a way of living in other places, and you want to compare the kids' houses in Panama, in Colombia, with kids' houses in Nepal, in India, this is the lesson. Why? Because there is a little girl that is called Tashi, and Tashi is going to tell us more about her.
Tashi, Fort Say, Nepal. Hello, my name is Tashi. This is my village. It is in very tall mountains.
Now, we can use comparatives without telling kids that we are going to use comparatives. Okay, kids, let's compare. Where is Tashi from? Oh, Tashi is from Nepal. What about you? Oh, teacher, I am from Colón, Panama. Ah, okay. This is an example. What is your name? Oh, teacher, my name is Camilo. What is her name? Her name is Tashi. So we are kind of comparing. And now we see, oh, look, what is Nepal? Here. What about Panama? Oh, Panama is here. So we can also review.
Europe, North America.
And then we can see the landscape. And that is why we're going to start comparing. Oh, teacher, no, the houses are similar, different, bigger and smaller. In case we can teach this. But we can also use the pictures or the listening exercises.
I see our garden out of my door.
And if possible, we can create like a project using these kind of examples. It's a possibility. Like, okay, this is the town. And as I told you before, this is part of this collection. What I did was to select books or websites that are free. This is an example. This storyline online. Okay, look, they have very famous people. Like who? Like Oprah Winfrey. What they do is they invited Oprah Winfrey and more famous people from the States, and there are some kids reading aloud. Good books, some books with kids. For example, look. Oprah Winfrey.
Welcome to Storyline Online, brought to you by the SAG. So she checks the oven temperature. You only set it to 250 degrees. Miss Adeline's birthday cake looks like someone sat on it. Mama says we'll have to start over.
And then you go and
Much do you? Baby girl, you know I sure do love cake.
here you're gonna find all the books, And now with inclusion, these kind of topics, they are perfect because they include many, many topics. I love this one, Catching the Moon, with Kevin Costner. You know Kevin Costner? So Kevin Costner is going to read the book with a lady, a girl.
Welcome to the
And
Storyline
together,
Online,
they're
brought
going
to
to
you by
tell
the
us
SAG
that
Foundation.
interesting story, Catching the Moon.
Next year, by winning the 1931 ninth inning of a tie game,
And
Arsenio decided to take the biggest chance in all
good
of
news,
baseball.
if you say, oh, but I want to buy this book. So we can ask, try to see how we're going to get the book through Amazon.com or I don't know, Barnes and Nobles, and we can get the book $10.95. I don't sell the book, but I just to let you know that also there are some resources like Teacher's Guide. This Teacher Guide is wonderful. Why? Because they tell you what we can do with those stories. So we don't need to start thinking, oh, what kind of questions I'm going to know. No, everything is here. Look, during the reading, after the reading, the standards, procedure, read. So the teaching resources are wonderful. And we don't need to think about inventing or having a new procedure. No, they have the procedure, step number 1, step number 2. And this is all about this website this is the activity or like the website that I want to share with you. You can explore. We have Disney Junior, stories. You can use it in several ways. If you have to share some resources with parents and kids, you can send directly this link. Or if you want to explore one by one, for sure, you are going to find lots of activities that you can use in your classes. Yeah. Joel, I think I'm through.
All right. Thank you very much, Mauricio. It's been great. I know that people love it because you have shared with them a lot of information.
Joel,
Yeah.
the last one, 2 minutes, right? The last one, the last. Okay,
Go.
yeah, wait a minute. Need to bear in mind that we need to share, as Joel said before, I want to share my resources, my ideas. Why? Because we are going through a situation. I want to ask you, if the pandemic, COVID-19, if we didn't change with the pandemic, when are we going to change? I mean, if I was selfish with my resources and now I don't want to share my resources anymore, when I'm going to share them with my colleagues or my friends of this, that is why I told Joel, I can give the workshop only if I can share all the PowerPoints, all the things with participants. Because it happens that when you go to a workshop, no. I spent a whole weekend creating that. Why Daira, why Jorlen is going to have my resources? No. They have to work. They have to, no. So that is why I say, no. Joel, we need to share all. It's up to you how you're going to use it, how you're going to adapt them to your classes. But this is my final sentence. Joel.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you. We have a lot of people here with their thumbs up, like they love it. Thank you very much. If there is any question, please let us know. And we have some questions here. Please share your question. We still have 5 more minutes for questions. And thank you so much for everyone. We started with the number of participants and we finished with you all. Good job. Excellent. Good job. So let's go into the question part.
Yeah, about the resources. If you have a question.
Can we use this? I would like to know if the students can interact, with their phones, probably. Is that the question?
Exactly. I mean, some students can use their cell phones, but it's more difficult when they have to share the screen. I mean, if you're doing an activity in which students have to share the screen because they are going to match the pairs or they're going to find the words in the word search, it's quite difficult for them. So that is why when I tell students, please, who is going to share the screen? I kind of make sure who is using PC, computer, a desktop, because it's going to be easier for them to manipulate, to do the sharing screen, the share screen.
Is there any other question here? Okay, thank you very much. Let's see. Thank you, Mauricio. Thank you, a lot of people. Thank you so much. It was a great. Well, thank you very much for being here. It's been great sharing with you and connecting. That is the positive things of this pandemic that we are.
Joel, please, in case